Good evening and welcome to the Town of Tewksbury Zoning Board of Appeals.
Give a little nod to the TV guy.
I already did that.
Oh, you did? Okay, sorry.
He just gave the thumbs up.
I was actually right this time. Good evening and welcome to the Town of Tewksbury Zoning Board of Appeals. Today is Thursday, May 26, 2022. I'd like to call the meeting to order. And the first item on the agenda is the approval of the meeting minutes, which we don't have any this week. We'll do that for next month.
Are the minutes not
They're not ready.
this package
No, I'm not.
from 4?
No, it says not ready. Not here. I don't know what you have, Dan.
Looks like minutes from,
Were they from last month when you weren't here?
I am not on here, so it's when I was not here.
You're the only one that has them.
Okay.
Okay, so, first item on the agenda is the Lowell 5-cent savings bank under MA General Laws, Chapter 48, Section 8, as a party aggrieved by a decision made by the building inspector in a letter dated March 7th, 2022, to construct a remote teller kiosks. Said property is located at 30 International Place, Assessors Map 53, Lot 1, zoned office research. Please come to the podium, please. The board. Name and address, please.
Good evening. Douglas Hausler. I'm an attorney with Lampert, Hausler & Robin in Chelmsford, Massachusetts, representing the Lowell 5-cent Savings Bank. And with me is Allison Coleman, who's the Executive Vice President of the bank.
Welcome.
Located here in Tewksbury.
Headquartered here in Tewksbury.
Headquartered in Tewksbury, great. Could you just tell us a little bit about what you're trying to do and
Certainly. I did try to outline it in a letter submitted to the board to make it fairly clear. As I started off, it was not a hostile environment with the building commissioner. There seems to be a little bit of a conflict between the definitions within your zoning bylaws between an accessory use and an accessory structure, which takes place. In this particular application, and I think the building commissioner agreed with us on this much, it isn't really the use that we should be focusing on, it's more of the structure. This is a remote teller, and as everybody knows from living through COVID for the last 2.5 years, how important it is for people's health benefit, reasons to be able to do remote telling via a kiosk. It's incredibly important to the bank and its account holders. The only place that could be done has been shown on the plan that we provided to the board. It's one location. It is an additional structure. What we've been saying is the use is entirely consistent with the prior special permit that was granted to the bank when the bank on this site was allowed to do retail banking. So we're not changing that use. We've always been allowed to use retail use by a permit. What we're asking the commissioner, is to allow the structure to be constructed. And he took the interpretation of applying section 6300, I believe it was, 6300, its various subparts. We thought that the appropriate structure approach would be under 3500. An accessory structure is defined as a building or structure subordinate to a principal building or structure, which is exactly what we have here. We have the main office of the bank, the headquarters with retail, and then we're proposing an accessory structure right outside its doors, essentially. And it's customarily used to serve the purposes of that principal building. The uses are exactly the same. So we thought we were meeting that. I think one of the issues that came up here is that When the bylaw for, the criteria for section 6300 was being considered, no one really anticipated a remote teller. People were thinking of a Dunkin' Donuts, a McDonald's, something you would drive up to, exchange money, buy food, et cetera, and drive out. That was, it appears from the criteria that are in 6300 that that's what it was designed to prevent. That criteria wasn't really designed to prevent a remote teller.
Are you driving up to this remote teller?
Sure we are. Just like we're driving up to the main building.
Am I doing my business from my car, or am I getting out?
You could get out, you could physically get out and punch the numbers that you need to, but you could also do it by a car because of the height that it's going to be set at. We're really trying to accommodate.
It's just
Customers.
basically an ATM machine, for the most part, right? Is there going to be a physical person sitting
No.
in there?
So not a person, it's a tube that we can send
I
work
see.
in banking to someone pulling up
Okay,
and working that way.
Yes, it's not habitable.
into the bank and then back out through the tube?
Yes.
When we opened the location, we did have the tubing laid underground, and then we thought, oh, we probably don't need this. And then COVID proved otherwise, when we needed to close our lobby and just do business that way. And it did impact our customers and our business.
So if I might add, the front door of your main building there, there's no kiosk, there's no accessibility to an ATM, or like a lot of banks have when you go in the front door.
So-
Do you have that there?
Our ATMs are actually located closer to Andover Street.
Yeah, I know that.
So there's nothing there's not an ATM or any other terminal located at 30 International Place.
So when you win the front door of the building, the main building, there's nothing.
It's a lobby.
That's what I was wondering. Okay, thank you.
So again, I think it's an interesting approach because I tried to outline under section 6300, when you look at the uses, the criteria that were being applied, or that, people have to check the box and meet, it's clearly something, and I compared it to the Cross Point Tower building, where you walk in and there's a coffee shop, a barber shop, there are all these other uses that are ancillary to the main tenants in that building. That's what 6300 is kind of trying to apply. We're not in that avenue whatsoever. That's why we're saying we fall under section 3500. We also know it's not going to affect any abutter. It's in a certain way, I call it a no harm, no foul approach. And so we're asking you to give us permission to allow, as a matter of right, to construct the remote teller structure. We have already submitted all the details of that structure in architectural plans to the planning board and to town departments for comments. We had received a lot of those comments. They were very minor in nature. So we were satisfying all the departments. So it's, as I said, there's nothing other than getting around the dichotomy of the bylaw, which section applies in this instance, not generically. It's a very limited review.
So in your denial letter, they're saying they reviewed it, and it's more of a drive-through facility.
That's what Mark was saying,
That's what
yes.
Mark is saying, which is not allowed in an office research district.
And if you look at that particular section, he's quoting the section, I get that. But I'm saying we have to get beyond, we got to get to the substance of what we're talking about and the spirit and the intent of these bylaws. The intent of the bylaw in 6300 isn't really applicable to what we're trying to do here. And as for the use argument, and this is where I think we respectfully disagreed with Mark, and we didn't, this is not a battle, it was a discussion. We were saying we already have the use. Retail use is allowed. We already have a special permit for it. Is it an expansion of that use? Yes. But it's the same essential use. It's banking. It's retail banking. That's not changing. permit we got applied to the entire site. It didn't say just this building. It's a large site.
What is your special permit? Is it for a special use? Is it for banking? How is it?
There.
Is it in this packet somewhere?
Oh, there are a number of, there was a number of variances and special permits granted to the bank when it went forward with the construction of this building, or the reconstruction of this building. So there's a list, quite substantial, but one of them was for the use of retail banking, otherwise we couldn't have located here.
Right.
And the town was, clearly inviting the bank to make its headquarters here. It would be very unfortunate that after the town was inviting the bank to come in, to get hung up on this kind of an issue. I'm asking you to balance that with some common sense, that's all. And I don't see anyone likely to appeal any decision you might make in this regard. I want to be very practical about that.
You'll have to excuse us for fumbling through the paperwork so much. They gave us a new zoning bylaw book, and they changed, well, they
Different
changed all our
pages.
numbers.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So we don't have,
Yeah,
3,500 anymore, or 6,300. We've
Yeah.
got
okay.
3.6.3.
Oh,
So we're-
okay.
So bear with us.
I thought that I may have had a copy of our original
Yeah,
special
I
permit.
think I do have that list.
17,
Yeah.
or-
Yeah, it's here.
I mean, like, yesterday? Yeah, I see that in a few days ago.
I do have it. So we received 5 special permits back in various ages from 2004, 8, 11, 16, and 17. Most regarding signs, but then there's the site plan special permit and use special permit dated July 19th, 2011 from the Tewksbury Planning Board. And it was recorded at book 25-179, page 195.
And the use would be
Retail banking.
retail banking. To be honest with you, I'm looking through this, I'm still trying to find office research district.
I can't find it in there either, on Appendix A.
We got a subtitle of office professional use.
So are you relining all the parking spaces to accommodate the someone driving
Just in
through?
that, there's an existing island now where this would be located, so there's not very much restriping involved.
Where's the island?
It's located, if you're, I'm not sure if I gave you, yeah, there's a map.
Is a different picture
No,
better?
right here, the island. Connecting the two parking spaces.
If I may approach, I'll show the board where the,
Kiosk is gonna go here, and there's an underground or above ground tube that's gonna come into the office?
Yes, sir. That's the main building, right?
this is the main building.
Yeah, okay.
Parking comes off.
Yeah.
This is the existing island.
Okay.
Suggested to convert that. And the fire department's already promised to be everything in that.
Yeah, the flow, yeah.
Hi, sir, thank you.
Thank you. So the traffic's gonna be coming in off of North Street?
Yes.
Right. They'll be entering for the kiosk on North Street,
Yes.
right?
Well, there's,
There's both ways.
There's both ways, but I guess it depends which way you're coming from.
You can get it from International Drive too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah, so it would be International Drive or Andover Street.
Yeah, not north.
Or
Oh, north is
Andover
the other
Street.
back.
Yeah, not
There's an
North Street,
access
Dan.
road
It-
at
it's-
1599 Andover Street.
Yeah. Right where the ATMs are, you can cut through the back there.
That's
The
right.
learning
Not
center.
visualizing it.
I live out there, that's why I know, I pass it every day.
Yeah.
Good luck.
So we're asking you to use your discretion to balance it out and see what the intent of the bylaw was here. And as I said, when we met with the planning department and we met with various department heads in the inspectional services review, no one seemed to have a real issue with it, except the problem is which definition applied.
All right. 6,300 was which one?
63 deals with use, and 3,500 deals with structure. And that's what we're saying should override here. That should be the primary focus. Because we already have a use that's allowed for the entire site.
So you're looking at, so use districts. 30.
And to make it a little bit easier for the board, section 3500, particularly 3520, lists the accessory structures that are prohibited.
Again,
And this
we're not-
doesn't fall
we're
in
not
there.
using that.
Right, we can't use
So
those
we're still-
numbers anymore.
No, that's true, I'm sorry.
No, don't be, I get it.
It's too bad that there's not a old section, new section.
No,
That would be too easy.
This book is completely different.
very much so.
So you're saying that you think by right, with your special permit in place, you should be able to put that kiosk in?
As to the use portion, yes.
Right.
As to the structure, we have to meet your requirements. That's what we're saying. We're saying we can.
Did you originally get the permit approved when you had the tunnel for the other two bins?
Yes. I have all the paperwork from the original
So it went
filing in
under, and that was
2017.
approved? Same location?
Same location, we just decided not to move forward with it at
So
that time.
basically that's
We never
expired.
thought that, because the amount of customer traffic was relatively low when we opened there,
Mm-hmm.
and that's since changed. And then when we needed to close the lobby, and how were we helping our customers, that's when we realized, oh, we should have done it.
Right. No, completely makes sense.
Yeah, so it was originally part of that special permit.
So if you already had that in the works, now did you have the full-blown kiosk in the original plan with the special permit and just decided not to do it?
I can't speak with 100% certainty.
I can't tell you. I did not work on that element of the approval process.
So our contractors at the time were working with this project.
Because it is kind of odd that you put all the infrastructure in if it wasn't approved then. Somebody might have caught that. You put a bunch of tubes in the ground. You know what I mean? If it wasn't
I do
approved.
know, yeah.
Right.
I'm with you. I like where you're going now.
Glad somebody does.
I can't,
You don't know what that paperwork is, but that's, I mean, my whole thought process is if it was already there and approved before, and the structure's already started, I mean, it was already there.
And the as-bills were approved by the town, which would have included it.
Then, what's changed from then to now, other than people?
We went from numbers to dot this and dot that.
Right.
Or there's a drive-through.
Ish, yes.
No,
No, it is.
It's a
It is a drive-through. But it was already a drive-through. The tunnel was created for the drive-through, for the teller, for the vent to go up, but it was, oh,
Maybe.
all right, I'll give you that.
one thing that's become very clear is that, at least from what we've learned from dealing with the town, nobody within the town departments or administratively was looking at this saying, this is not appropriate, or it was a question of, how did we not fit this in? Everybody is kind of agreeable to it. It's a question of bylaw definitions.
We couldn't find a clear path.
There is no one clear path, which is why we asked, and we coordinated this, quite frankly. We did meet with the assistant town manager, the planning director, and we met with the various department heads, and took in all the comments and submitted designs for them to review, and wanted to make sure everybody was on board with the concept, and that wasn't a problem. It's a question of which path do you take?
No, it's just one kiosk, right?
One remote teller, that's it. And and to be honest, I'm not making more of it than it is a health issue. This is important, especially for elderly people who were at risk going into buildings.
What did they do for the last 2 years?
I don't know how people did a lot of their banking
So
online.
we closed the lobby at this location. So periodically, depending on we had staffing challenges and CDC recommendations, we would close the lobbies of our branches and help everyone through our drive up, and we actually got pretty savvy with it, being able to take transactions out to the parking lot. So keeping our customers safe, and customers that didn't feel comfortable coming in at the time. So that has gone away a bit, but when we started revisiting this during COVID so that we could keep this office open, then we started talking to different folks, and we just couldn't get, so it's been over a year and trying to
To
go down
implement-
one area and
To implement this.
So you guys were still servicing the customers in the
Oh.
parking lot? They were still coming to the bank?
actually at this location we didn't.
No, risky business.
Luckily, we have a second location in Tewksbury, further down on Main Street, which we just posted a sign and asked people to go there.
So hopefully you could entertain a motion to approve this.
You don't know the dimensions of the kiosk, do you?
Yes, I do.
The last page. It's very small.
Yeah, it's tiny. It looks tiny.
It's about 8 feet long and about 10 feet, 11 feet height.
In this packet.
Yeah, it's on this one too. I have that.
Keep flipping.
Oh, yeah, I do.
We wanted it to be as minimal a structure as possible for safety and not for it to be this eyesore in the parking lot. So as you can see, the way that we designed it with the brick and the material on top, it's reflective of the building, so it kind of blends.
And the tubes you said were going to be above ground now?
They're underground.
Underground,
currently.
okay.
Yeah, they're underground from the bank branch to the island, and they're just capped currently.
But we're not hearing whether it's underground or it's above ground. We're just having a hearing whether or not you should have the kiosk in the parking lot.
Correct. And I don't,
I'm stuck on no drive-throughs permitted.
I couldn't find it anywhere.
I can't find it.
In the new book.
Well, our town attorney sent it to us.
Is that the attorney or is that the inspector? Mark?
That's the commissioner.
Is that the commissioner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I couldn't find the drive-through facility or the office research district
I'm assuming
in Appendix A.
he didn't lie to us.
No, I'm sure he didn't.
We don't think he's lying whatsoever. But what he also agreed with us. He said it just wasn't something that was envisioned, that the intent of the bylaw was to really kind of prohibit fast food operations.
Well,
There's a coffee shop right in front of the bank as well that has a drive-through, is there not? Like on, off in North Street?
Aroma Joe's,
Joe's,
that just
and there's a
opened.
drive-through right there, right in front.
Right, but
So that kiosk would be right behind it to the left, if I'm not mistaken, right? So, or
Right,
to the
if you're
right.
looking at Aroma Joe's.
I'm looking,
it's to
right,
the-
if I'm looking, facing Aroma Joe's,
Right.
where would that kiosk sit?
Behind it and to the left.
So yeah, right behind it to the left.
Right,
And
and
there's a drive-through right
there's a
up front.
Wendy's and Dunkin' Donuts drive-through with a mobile station.
Right, and
But that's that
there's-
village overlay district.
Yeah, and then to the right of that, there's the Wendy's that is a drive-through, which is also both accessible off of Andover and International Road.
Oh, it's right, it's
It's-
like a
you can
2-second
cut
walk
through,
through
yeah.
the-
One of the comments was that if they knew this kind of situation was coming, they just would have expanded the overlay district.
Right.
It wasn't intentional to prevent this.
So it just, that may be true, what he wrote, but there's also tons of drive-throughs in that facility.
Have you guys done any
It's my
type
2
of
cents.
studies to, you can guesstimate how many cars will be visiting the kiosk per day or anything like
So we would not
that?
anticipate that there's an increase to our customer traffic at all, so it's to service our existing customers, so it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
like we would, of course, if a non-customer came up, we would try to help them, but that's not the intent at all. Yeah, so the traffic flow at the site wouldn't change.
And you said it's just a kiosk, it's not an ATM, so you won't be
Correct.
pulling in any other outside ATM people?
Right, we have two ATM terminals and the access road. So you can see here, you just put your
Right.
transaction in, it goes underground to the finish.
Looks good.
May I see that?
I'm sorry.
No, it works.
So you can see it's super minimal. It mirrors kind of the rear of the building. And then we wanted to keep it open for safety reasons. And that terminal is the electronic piece, and you put your transaction in, and it just floats to the bank.
Can we keep this? Thank you.
I'm sorry, I thought you had one.
I may,
And all the paper.
there's a lot of paper.
we have a lot.
I don't remember seeing one like that, but.
I'm all in, I think it's a great idea.
No, I'm
Me too.
just stating that I don't disagree with you, Rob. It's hard to find.
We don't allow drive-throughs. I mean, it's pretty simple. I'm trying to find, I wish he'd put some numbers on it. I wish there was like a legit denial letter.
Yeah, I don't even see.
I wish they'd put on the application what they were looking for. They just put a party agreement.
We asked to overturn the building commissioner's determination.
Right, I understand, but with the new book, you'd think they would have given us a
Oh,
couple
I'm
of
sorry.
numbers.
I understand now. I apologize.
The old book, we'd zip right through it.
Yeah, we knew exactly where.
We knew where everything was. What I'm stuck on is, in the Office Research District, a commercial drive-through facility is not allowed. We all agree on that. What you're saying is that was intended more for food service, perhaps, I don't know, I didn't write the bylaw. But regardless, it's still there. And you want to, by right, under your special permit that you have now, put a drive-through in. Right? You think it's an accessory use to your building?
It wasn't allowed, we believe it would be, I'm trying to provide a legal argument to make it palatable to the board. Let's put it that way.
Right? I understand.
I'm not looking to create a major decision. I'm trying to give you a path that is justifiable if you wish to grant it.
Well, here's the other side of that coin. If we say, yeah, it's a great idea, let's do it. Everyone else is going to come in and say, hey, you did it over there.
And I hear that a lot when I go before boards, and they're worried about precedent.
It's up, yeah. it's up
And it
to-
isn't, it's a misnomer, and I wish a lot of people would be given more opportunity to know what's precedent and what isn't in that setting. This is unique to this site, to these circumstances, to this building, to the parking, it's
But
unique.
how is it unique? You're a bank that wants a drive-through.
If there was another bank in an office research area that wanted to do it, even then, it's a different location with whole different dynamics. In this case, this is the one thing that distinguishes this probably from anything else is we already have an existing special permit to allow that use as a retail bank. So I really don't envision any opportunity. You never say never, but I don't see another approach, someone approaching you to say, can we do this?
Now we go back to, believe me, I want you to convince me. I do. I think it's a great idea.
I'm hopeful I'm doing that, but.
So let's go back to your original special permit.
Yep.
Was there a drive-through in it? There was tubes. Was there a drive-through that just didn't get built? Because now it's on your special permit. Now I feel much better. But if it wasn't there, and even, you say you have as-built isn't going to show it because it's not there. Maybe your preliminary drawings, when you came to the board, looking for the special permit,
Now, the as-bills would show the pipes underneath.
would show the pipes underneath, but it wouldn't show, because you didn't put it there, the kiosk.
The kiosk, yes. That I
If
agree
it
with.
was, if it was in your original drawings that you brought to the board for the special permit, then it's a no-brainer, because it would be covered under your special permit.
I don't agree with you there, but, I'm sorry, go ahead. I think that the focus wasn't so much on a kiosk or not a kiosk back then, a remote teller or not a remote teller. It was the use of a retail banking operation in that district permissible? And if it was going to be permissible, it was only if there's a special permit allowing for retail banking. Not the limitations on retail banking, just the use, the generic use. And that's where I think we're at, respectfully.
I'm still stuck on it's not allowed in that district. It's not, I can see why the building commissioner is having a hard time with this one.
He did, but I want to be fair. When I said that, one of the only avenues I saw to getting this before you was this approach. And I really, as an attorney, I do not like to challenge a building commissioner's determination. I don't do that usually. And Mark, no insult, he understood completely. He said, this needs to get vetted, and he would not lose any sleep if the board overturned him. He was quite clear about that. But he thought it was something that should come before your board. And we said we would do it this way. And we're not trying to be surreptitious, we come straight out.
I agree with you.
I would normally agree with you 9 times out of 10 I do.
Usually do, yes.
But seeing how that area where they're looking to put a small tubing drive-through is surrounded by nothing but drive-throughs, including a drive-up teller or ATM right in front of them, I don't see what the issue is, especially where the tubes have already been put there and in place, and the structure is already there. It's just incomplete. So for me, I feel that it makes more sense to just move forward as opposed to not. Just to me, personally, I just don't see why it's an issue.
The way that I look at it is that we have hearings all the time for residential people, and they want
Yeah.
to circumvent the bylaws, right? So we make that decision if we're allowing them to circumvent the bylaws. And I think we're looking at this, we should be looking at this the exact same way.
Correct.
No, we're really not in a discussion phase yet.
No,
I have a different opinion.
of course you do. Shocker. But they're always great.
Do we want to close this part of the hearing and have a discussion?
You should.
Sure. You gotta open it to the public first.
Yes, I'd like to open it to the public. Seeing that nobody is here, I'd like to make a motion.
I'd like to make a motion.
Do you have anything else? Yes, I'm sorry.
I don't believe so. No, we're happy to.
Of the unfortunate mercy of being in the office research district.
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion to close
Second.
this part of the hearing.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So, again, my 2 cents is where it's surrounded by a bunch of drive-throughs already, honestly, almost the entire street of Andover Road. I personally don't see it. Now, if it was off of North Street or in the back where all the other businesses are, I would have an issue with it because there are no drive-throughs there. So that doesn't make sense in that part, in that zone. But seeing how it's already mixed in, that same open area where all the other drive-throughs are, personally, that's where I don't see the issue, so that's how I feel on this.
And I don't think we'd be setting any type of precedence either, because let's, for an example, a Burger King or a McDonald's that's going to come into a place in Tewksbury, they're going to go into the correct zone before they build. They're not going to go into another zone and then come and ask for a variance.
You want my take on it?
In a minute.
Yes, I do, no.
Let Mike go first.
I mean,
Let Mike go first.
I just, I kind of echo Rob's concerns about the permit previously mentioned, that if it was included in that we should have that knowledge while we're going into this vote. And if that in case is the fact, then it's a no-brainer.
Too late now, you closed both parts of the hearing. You're voting. Can't continue, can't ask him for it.
I know that, I realize that.
No,
If it was covered under the special permit, then there would be no need for them to come here to ask for a
all
variance,
around.
Yeah.
right?
I think even someone approaching the board later on, we can, it's probably going to be a different circumstance, you're not transacting food or anything like that. And
Yeah, I'd like to hear your thoughts.
So they're in a district where they don't belong. They got a special permit to be there.
Correct.
We don't allow drive-throughs, and you're gonna say by right, under the original special permit, you're gonna give them a drive-through. I think it's another special permit.
Are you suggesting they come back and do a different special permit?
Special permit would be from the planning board now.
Would it, quick question for that?
We're just a party aggrieved. Mr. Chairman.
What do we need the special permit for if we can just approve the application? And
What they're asking you to do is make a determination on the building inspector, right? So the building inspector says with their original special permit, it didn't include a drive-through. What they're saying is with their original special, not even so much with their original special permit, but by right, they can have a drive-through. It's a use, it's part of it. What the building commissioner is saying is, it's not part of it, it's not allowed there, you don't have it, you need a special permit.
but so he's just
So
saying,
we're trying to make a determination of, if we side with the applicant, we're saying that by right, they can have a drive-through.
correct.
If we side with the building commissioner, we're saying that you can't have it, according to Tewksbury zoning bylaws, you can't have it. Perhaps under a special permit you can, but with what you have right now, no.
But can't we also not look at the special permit that he's had in the past? And he's brought an application to the board to put this kiosk in, and we can just say, okay, we know it's not going to be detrimental to the neighborhood. We're going to allow them to put it in.
But it all pivots off the special permit,
But why do we keep talking about the special permit?
because that's why he's there to begin with. He's not even supposed to be there. The bank isn't supposed to be in that district. So they've got a special permit to put the bank in an office research district, because it's not allowed. Right, I'm sure if they were in a district that allowed banks, we wouldn't even be here.
Right.
So my question is why are we even talking about the special permit? Why are we just hearing the application and approving or not approving the application? Why are we
They don't
even?
have an application, they're a party aggrieved.
Right.
They're asking us to either uphold the building commissioner's denial,
Yeah, or approve it.
because they're not looking for a variance or a waiver or a special permit or anything.
They're not looking for a variance on section 3.2.5.
No,
They're saying by right, they should be able to build that.
So
they
that's where
just
the
want us
special
to
permit,
say yay or nay.
because he's saying by right.
No, he's saying that since they have a bank there, under a special permit, right, let's forget the special permit.
Yeah,
They have a bank
in a
office.
non-zone property.
Let's say it this way. They have a bank in an office research district.
Yeah,
In the office research district, drive-throughs are not allowed.
Correct.
So they want to build a drive-through, they went to the building commissioner, and the building commissioner said, no, you're in an office research district.
So they're coming here to ask us to approve it.
They're coming here to ask us to say that the building commissioner is wrong.
And if we do that, are they allowed to put the kiosk in?
They're allowed to put their kiosks
So
in.
we're either approving it or denying it.
It's a way to look at it, yes. Yes.
So if we do approve it, they can apply for a building permit the next day, or where do they sit? after that?
There's a waiting period for, I can't think of the word,
I think it's 10 days for
10 days or something.
determination,
And then-
20 for usually for variance or a special permit.
And there's a waiting period for people who don't want it.
I feel that all of Andover Road at this very moment is a special permit. It's all special. Between all the townhouses and everything else they're putting up around there, that whole thing
But where does
should have been,
where does the interstate overlay district stop?
I would think exactly where the,
I'd have to look at a map for that, because you got Route 495 right there, you got the interstate overlay district, which allows all kinds of stuff by right.
is right there. Then you have hotel,
Roma Joe's,
Roma Joe's.
very familiar.
And then around the corner from that is where all the businesses are.
McDonald's, Wendy's,
But McDonald's is up the other end, but where the housing is and all that is back.
all the new housing, the garage that just got torn down.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
There. So. Okay. But if we're gonna go by that, where the actual location as where it sits now and with all of its surroundings, it doesn't really throw off more than it's already there.
I think it's a great idea to get business in the bank. I think every business in town should thrive.
I don't disagree. I know you do. It's just not where it's supposed to be. I get it. Do you want to continue to look for a bit, or do you want to make a motion?
No, make a motion. I wish I could find, we've got all the information that we need. I have all the information. I just want to see it in this book.
Me too. I couldn't find it.
I can't find it.
This is all I found in here. That's all I found.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
that's
right.
it.
Exactly where it is.
That's all there is.
Right.
It's not very helpful.
You found it.
Just that
Well,
paragraph.
it's a definition.
Just,
And nothing before.
Well, the building commissioner says a drive-through facility is not allowed in the office research district. Pretty cut and dry. And then he gives you the definition of a drive-through.
And that's what's in the bylaw book. That's in the zoning bylaw.
Yeah, the definition is definitely
So,
there.
so he was reviewing the application, saw the zoning bylaw, and just denied it because of that.
We have to.
Yeah,
yeah, you should.
yeah, it comes to us.
That's why he's there.
Yeah.
Somebody want to make a motion?
Voting members,
Who are voting members?
Mike, Joe, and Mr. Robert here.
Okay.
See?
You?
Okay.
So you and I are out. Okay. Somebody want to make a motion?
We have to close all parts of the hearings first.
Oh, you've already closed
We
them?
already
Already
closed
did.
it.
May
Now we're just
may I
gonna
ask
make
a point of order?
Sorry?
May I ask a point of order? Is it a 3-0 vote required?
Yes.
So how do you want to do this? If we vote in favor, we uphold the building commissioner?
Yes.
So a nay vote, a 3-nay vote would give the applicant what he wants.
Right. You have to say nay if you want to give the applicant what they want, and a yay is to the building commissioner to oppose the the denial.
Okay.
So yes is denied, no is approved.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
Great. Somebody? You make a motion?
Sure. Okay, where do we move? Yeah. Find a motion for,
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
motion to approve the, in the Mass General Laws 48, Section 8, as a party agreed by a decision made by the building inspector in a letter dated March 7, 2022, to construct a remote teller kiosk. Said property is located at 30 International Place, assesses map 53, lot 1, zoned office research.
I'll second that motion.
And all in favor?
All right.
Aye.
So remember, ayes deny them to move forward, and nays let them move forward. So it's kind of like the opposite. So aye is for the building inspector, nay is for them. Okay, so aye.
Are you going to call for opposed?
All opposed?
Nay.
Okay. Ayes. So it was ruled in favor of the building inspector's denial,
By a vote of 2 to 1.
2 to
2 to
1.
1. I'm a knave, so I voted with you.
And you voted with the building commissioner? I just want to make sure we're all on the same page.
I didn't get to vote. I didn't know I was voting on this.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a nay. I'm a nay vote.
A is to
Nay for them.
them, right?
All right, so you want them, yes.
I want them to
Yes.
get this.
So why don't you call the vote again?
Yeah.
Why
All
don't
right,
you
let's do this again.
call the vote again?
Let's call the vote again. Nay gives them the lets them move forward. Yes, or aye
Yeah,
denies it. Okay?
I'm a nay vote.
Okay.
Nay.
Nay?
Call the vote. Call the vote again.
Okay.
Roll call.
Joe?
Nay.
Rob?
Nay. Still.
Mike, nay.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very, very much, all of you. I appreciate it.
Good
Really
Lord.
appreciate all your time.
No.
We do appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Good
Thank
luck,
you for
guys.
your-
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any old business? No new business? Other than this is hard to read, the new zoning bylaw?
Do you have a new book? We have some studying to do.
We have a lot of reading to do to figure it out.
Find out where everything
Okay?
I think we can slide in the old book. and
Yeah, just
Slide in the
try to
numbers.
compare. Okay, so our next meeting will be held June 30th, 2022.
Good evening.
And the meeting is, can somebody want to,
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.